Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I feel like it's been a while since I did a makeup tutorial, and with Valentine's Day coming up I thought it would be the perfect time. So this is going to be an affordable Valentine's inspired look. I think I only have like one or two products that I wouldn't really consider affordable just because I don't have an affordable version of them, but I can try to list some dupes or alternate products down below for those. Everything else will be affordable, and this is going to be, you know, not a super dramatic look, but definitely more than I would normally wear, with like some pretty purple tones and that type of stuff. So I hope that you guys enjoy. Also, I'm going to be doing a voiceover for this video because the construction is super loud outside and I wanted to try out a voiceover style makeup video. So I hope that you guys enjoy, and if you want to see how I got my look, please keep watching. So the first product that we are going to start with today is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation, and this is in the shade 205 Natural Beige. I have usually been using my Fenty one lately just because this one does make me break out sometimes, but I love the finish on this one. I think it has great coverage for a affordable foundation. I usually stick with more like light to medium coverage. It depends how you apply it. I definitely apply less. You can always apply more. And then I'm just blending that out with this flat top kabuki brush. I used to use my beauty blender a lot, but I've been liking this brush for foundation lately. It just makes the process really quick and easy. So yeah, I just dot it all around. I would like to work in sections just because even though this foundation doesn't really dry down super quickly, I just think it works better if you work in sections just because you can focus on that area and make sure you're blending it out fully. And then I go back in just a couple places like my forehead and my cheeks where I have a couple breakouts and just build up the coverage a little bit, and that is it for foundation. Then you know I had to throw on some good jam to do my makeup too. And next step is concealer. So I actually am using two different ones in this video. The first one is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I like to use this one under my eyes specifically and down the bridge of my nose because I find it to be a little bit lighter, even though I think they're both the shade medium. I like this one a little more for like the areas that I want to highlight. So I just dot that on, and then I'm going to be using this little e.l.f. Perfect concealer brush, I think it's called. I used this in my last makeup video. Like I said, this is my go-to ride or die concealer brush. I love it for blending concealer, even more than the beauty blender actually. I always use this. And then like I said before, I'm using two concealers for this look. So the second one is the Maybelline Super Stay Better Skin, I think it's called. My bottle's really scratched up so I can't really read it, but I like to use this one on the other areas of my face, more for actual concealing rather than concealing and highlighting. So around my nose I get a lot of redness, I use it there. I also use it on my forehead to cover up some breakouts, and I like to prime my eyes with this one a little bit more than the other one just because it's a little more liquidy, so I find it kind of easier to blend out, and I use it as kind of like a primer or a base for my eyeshadow in that way. And like I said before, these are both in the shade medium. Just like before, I'm taking my e.l.f. concealer brush and just blending that all out. So the next step is going to be setting the face, and like I mentioned in the intro, I unfortunately do not have an affordable face powder, so I'm using the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Airbrush Perfecting Powder. This is in the shade Tan. I love this to set my makeup with. I think I used to use a CoverGirl or a Maybelline powder that was affordable that I liked, but I just moved on to this one just because it has a lot of skincare benefits and SPF, and I just like the way it looks. Gives you that nice airbrush finish. And then the next product I'm going to be using is the NYX HD Finishing Powder, and I use this one specifically to set down my concealer under my eyes and around my nose and in my smile lines because those are the places where I get creases, and usually I do this before my face powder. I don't know why I did it the other way around. For the face powder I used a Real Cosmetics powder brush, and then again I'm just using my little e.l.f. concealer brush for this, and this shade is the banana shade. I don't know why I prefer the banana shade over the plain one, I just do. And then the next step is brows. I don't have an affordable brow pencil, but I recently really haven't been filling in my brows. I've just been using this, and this is the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara in the color Black. I don't really find it to be black. It's like a really dark brown, but I have pretty dark eyebrows anyway, and I like to just go over it with this to fill them in. I have a hard time filling in my eyebrows with pencils. I usually make them uneven and stuff, so I find that this just gives them nice little shaping and filling in as well since it is tinted, but if you do have thinner brows or more sparse brows, you might want to fill them in first and then go over with this. My next step is going to be bronzer. This is again a NYX product. This is the matte bronzer in the shade Deep Tan. If you are fairer skinned than me, you might want to be careful with this just because it is on the warmer side. So I don't know if it will look a little orange on fairer skin tones, but I like it just for warming the skin up. I'm not really into like cream contouring or anything, so I always just use my bronzer to kind of contour and bronze my face. And for this, I'm just using this fluffy Chanel powder brush. Sometimes I use a more like angled e.l.f. brush if I'm trying to be a little more precise, but for this I just kind of wanted to warm up the general areas, so I like this fluffier brush. The next step is one of my favorites, that's blush. I'm using this little e.l.f. quad. I don't know the name of this. I think it might be the light blush quad. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I love this one because it has a couple different options for colors. I really love the peachy color, and I like to mix it with the bottom left shade, which is like kind of darker. The other two are pretty glittery, so I tend to stay away from those two, but I love to mix these ones. It's a great buildable blush, and I am using my Real Techniques blush brush for this. I have loved this quad for a long time. It has been my go-to blush. The only thing that I don't like about it is that it's a little large, so it's hard to travel with, but still one of my faves. So then we move on to highlighter. This is the Essence Pure Nude highlighter in the shade 10 Be My Highlight. I think I found out about this product from Kathleen Lights. It's a newer product for me. I got it at Ulta, but I love it. I am not like into crazy highlighter, but I just think that this one looks so natural and beautiful on the skin. It reflects the light so beautifully, and I am using my little e.l.f. highlighter brush. I want to say that's what this one is called. But yeah, I love this one. It just gives you that nice, subtle, natural, beautiful glow. So that is it for the face, and now it is on to the eyes. So now I have you guys nice and zoomed in, and it is time for my second not affordable product in this video. This is the Tartelette Tease palette. I think this one is $23, which is not insanely expensive, but you do only get 6 shades. There was actually an e.l.f. palette that I had wanted to use. It has some nice like pinks and purples in it. I will try to find it online and link it down below for you guys, but I do love the purples and pinks in this palette, so that's why I decided to use it. So first I'm just going in with a mix of the top shade, which is Whisper, and the one underneath it, which is Wink, and these are like nude kind of purpley toned shades. I'm just setting that concealer that I put on earlier and applying this as a base. Then I'm going in with my affordable eyeshadows that I'm using today, and these are from ColourPop. These are the Super Shock shadows. One is matte and one is a satin. So first I'm going in with Brady, which is the matte one, and I just like to use my fingers with these because I feel like you can really work it into your eyelid, work it into your crease, and I don't feel like the brush picks them up quite as well, so I just go in with my fingers and put this down first. And then once I have that most of the way blended out, I actually do take the brush just to smooth out the edges because the fingers kind of leave more of a harsh line, so I dip into the product just a tad and then just smooth over that with this fluffy brush. I want to say this is the blending brush, one of the blending brushes from Morphe. Then I'm going to dip back into that Tarte palette into the shade First Kiss, which is this mauve shade, and I'm just going to run that over the other ColourPop shade that we put down just because it sticks really well to that cream shadow. So if you want to, you can go in with just a powdered shadow or just the cream, or layer both, whatever you like. I just like the look of the powdered over the cream shadow. And again, I'm just using that same fluffy Morphe blending brush to just get these colors fully blended out. Then we're dipping back into the Tarte palette for the last time with the color BFF. It's this dark purple, like plummy shade, and I'm using this to deepen up the creases. So if you have any purple shades that you like, I do like the ColourPop single shadows. I can't think of another eyeshadow brand that's affordable on hand right now, but again, I'm going to try to find some dupes and list them below, but any dark purple shadow will do. And I'm taking this more tapered blending brush this time just to work this more specifically into the crease, and I'm just going to keep blending until this is all blended out nicely. Also, what I like to do to help soften the edges of my eyeshadow, especially with a darker color like this, is to take a bigger, fluffier brush and also dip into a lighter shade like one of those base colors and just run it along the edges just to soften them up nicely. So once that is all blended, it's time to go in with the second ColourPop shade, which is a satin one, and this is the shade Wattles. And I'm going to take this again with my finger and put this on the lids just for a little bit of a highlight. This is a similar color to the other one, but again it's satin, so it has a nice little sheen to it, and I think it's also a little bit lighter, so I like to just take this on the center and towards the inside of the eyeball and use it to just brighten it up and add a little shine. Now for the lower lash line, dipping into BFF again, which is again the plum shade, and I'm just taking this tiny little pencil brush and running that underneath my eyes. Not really smoking out too much, but just giving the lower lash line a little definition and a little color. Now I'm going in with another NYX product. This is the eye and eyebrow pencil in the shade dark brown, and I'm going to tightline with this. Sorry, it was hard to do it towards the actual camera. I was looking into a mirror, so I didn't poke my eye out, but just tightlining with this on both sides. And if you want to add eyeliner to the actual eyelid, you can do a wing liner, you could do pencil liner, whatever you like. I think it closes my eyes off a little bit just because of my eye shape, so I like to leave that alone. And then we are going in with the eyelash curler. I like to curl my lashes. I know it's not something that everyone does, but I think it just gives them a nice shape. And then my camera decided to overheat, but we are going in with mascara. This is the L'Oreal Telescopic in the shade black. Might be actually black is black, but whatever. I have loved this mascara for forever. It lengthens so nicely, it doesn't make them clumpy, and it has a really tiny brush, so I like to use this for top and bottom lashes. Now we are on to the final step, which is the lips. I first started by lining my lips with this Rimmel lip liner. This is in the shade Rose Quartz. I've actually been loving lip liners lately. I sometimes actually just use them to fill in my entire lips, and I find them nice because they stay put, unlike a satin lipstick, which I usually use, and they're not as drying as like a liquid lip, so I feel like they're the perfect in between. So I'm just gonna line my lips with this first. And then our final step is this NYX Liquid Lingerie lipstick. This is in the shade Bedtime Flirt. This is another product that I love. They do dry down. I don't know if they dry down fully, but they're kind of like a liquid satin, I would say, more than a liquid matte. But I love this shade. I love the way they feel. I usually put it down and then kind of rub it in a couple times because it takes a minute to kind of set. But yeah, after you do that, I just kind of blend it in a little bit with the lip liner, because the lip liner is a little bit of a darker shade, but I think it adds some nice dimension to the lips. And that is it for this look. So that is it. This is the final look. I feel like it is definitely more dramatic than what I normally do, but still not too much for me to do. So and it only took me like 20-30 minutes to do, so I feel like this is a nice look for Valentine's Day if you're going out and celebrating, or if you're just hanging out treating yourself or with your girls. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this look, and I hope that you have a very happy Valentine's Day, and I'll see you in the next one.